Hello, I'm Steve, and welcome to our channel Patio Heat, where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for ideal patio comfort. Check out our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful, as it helps others find our channel. Now let's get heating. Alright, so this is a viewer submitted design, and you can see here we have this slope ceiling, and we have some I should mention that this is a screened in room. I don't have the screen section displayed here. However, just bear that in mind. We do have a doorway that's going to be over here, and I'm not sure whether that's swung inwards or outwards, but in any case, as long as it's the same or no higher than these doors here, then that shouldn't be an issue. I do have a fan as well as some recessed lighting. We have a sliding door, swing out door here, and I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions. Overall dimensions I have here at 20 feet here, and then 18 feet depth here. There's a 2-foot section over here, so I'm going to be centering everything within this 16-foot section. I do have the height of the bottom of the beam here at 9 feet. And then they weren't sure what the overall slope was going to be, so I just have it right now at 12, 4 3/4. And then a height at the very top here, we'll just call it 13, 7. Let's see if there's anything else here that we want to mention. I do have this fan here centered in the room, and that is a roughly 5-foot diameter fan. And that's about it, I think. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn that off for right now. So what I would recommend for something like this and is placing a couple of CD6024 6,000 watt 240 volt 25 amp heaters each, and you can see I have them mounted on the slope of the ceiling. And then also I have them, if you were to point the heater straight down to the ground, I have them just 6-degree angle tilt towards the center of the room, and that's just to get some nice overlapping in the center here, as well as looking at the clearances. So we do need to make sure that we are meeting the clearances. I'm not sure if the fan that they're going to be using has wooden blades or are considered combustibles, but if they are, we need to make sure that we're 18 inches away, and that is why I have this angle here at the 6-degree angle. But we can see that the slope does play a part here. If the slope is more increased or higher over here, then we may have to change this up a bit. Also, you'll just notice that these lights, if I didn't mention, they're 3.5 feet away from this edge here, and same with this edge over here, 3.5 feet from that edge. We're not impeding them in any way with the heater itself, so this should be a good application. Now, this particular viewer said that they were struggling with, whether to put 6,000 watts or 4,000 watts, 2 units, how many units. I would not go with, if we're going to mount something like this, I would not mount anything lower than a 6,000 watt unit at this height. So this height is going to end up being, I think, at excuse me. So that height is going to be just at 11 feet off the floor, and a 6,000 watt would be the most appropriate for that. Also, with this layout that I have here, you can see that center to center on the heater is going to be this 8-foot 10 5/8 inches apart from each other, which is pretty good. I don't like to go anything further than 9 foot apart when pointing the heater straight down, and we're have it at that 6.5 degree angle pointed in towards the center. And then, of course, the 16-foot section that we were talking about before, we are only able to really heat up 12 feet. So there is going to be roughly 2 and 2 feet of missing coverage, but I think this is kind of the layout that they're looking at, so this might just be fine for them. And also, if you were to put a heater over here on this wall, you couldn't put one on top of this wall here because of the doorways, but if you put one over here and angled it out, you'd be hitting the backs of people, and not sure that would be very comfortable because these are infrared light waves, so light does travel and penetrate mass, human body being mass, then that would absorb into your back. And I'm not sure exactly where these chairs are going to be lined up. I do have them kind of lined up with the lighting up here, kind of, and so it's about 3 feet away from the wall. If they're further out, then it'll be hitting more of your back and maybe your legs out here. So that's why I prefer to see them up above here and casting a ray uniformly throughout the space here. So let's go ahead and look at that. Let me turn this off for a second. And so you can see here that with this ray casting out, we're hitting this area fairly nicely. I think this coverage would be just fine for this application. In the center here, we got a lot of overlapping, even though that the heater is quite high and probably not the most ideal for sitting here in the center if there was just one unit. Sorry about that. But with the crossover rays, it's doubling up the ray amount and making this just fine and comfortable for most of the season. Now this is, I think this is in the south area, I believe, and so I'm not quite sure how cold the south gets. I would say this would be a comfortable applications for anything above the 50-degree weather, 55-degree weather, somewhere around there. Depends on what your acclimation to the environment is. So anyway, I think this would be the best option, and I'm not quite sure if I mentioned the again the clearances here, but the reason why we want to make sure that we are meeting these clearances, we got to meet the clearance of the fan blade. This is 18 inches from this edge to this edge here, and then also the slope of the ceiling. If this was a more a steeper ceiling slope, then we have to watch out how we change this angle here. So we don't want this from the bottom edge of the heater all the way out here is at 18 inches, and then above the bottom edge here all the way around is 6 inches, and that's what we want to meet. So but definitely I would use something more of the 6,000 watt unit for an application like this because of the height. And if you chose to even put them on the outer edge here, or even the backside of this beam here towards this section, then I would still go with the 6,000 watt unit, because even this here, you're going to get a maximum comfort area if you mount it over here about 8 feet off the edge and 8 feet off. 8 and 8 is 16, so that would be perfect, but we're not going to get the cross left to right here when we're talking about a 20-foot section over here. So this would be my preferred layout, and I think that that should be about it. I hope this answers your question, and I thank you for presenting it to me, and hopefully we'll get some more requests from you viewers. I thank you for watching. Please tap that like button. Thank you and have a great day.